First up, the 1974 half dollar features the profile of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse side, a design created by Gilroy Roberts. The reverse shows the presidential seal designed by Frank Gasparro, with the eagle holding an olive branch and arrows. The coin was struck in copper-nickel clad composition, unlike earlier half dollars that contained silver. Despite having no silver, this coin still draws attention due to its design, mintage, and some incredible minting errors that can make it worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. There are three main versions of the 1974 half dollar: those minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with the D mint mark, and in San Francisco with the S mark for proof coins. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 79 million coins, while the Denver Mint struck about 201 million. The San Francisco Mint made a smaller number of proofs for collectors. While the regular strikes might appear common, the real excitement begins when we talk about errors and condition. Collectors pay close attention to the 1974 D half dollar because of the famous 1974 D double die obverse variety. This error shows clear doubling on the letters in God We Trust and the date. Depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition, this rare variety can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000 in mint state. Finding one in circulation is extremely rare but not impossible. That's why coin roll hunters and enthusiasts still search half-dollar rolls today, hoping to discover this valuable error. Another key factor in determining value is condition. Coins graded mint state 65 and above can command significant premiums. Even a regular 1974 D half dollar in superb gem condition can be worth much more than face value. Proof coins from San Francisco are also collectible, especially those with cameo or deep cameo contrast. A flawless proof 1974 S Kennedy half dollar can sell for impressive prices at auctions or online marketplaces. While most 1974 half dollars are made from copper nickel, there have been rumors and a few verified discoveries of 1974 half dollars struck on leftover silver planchets from 1970. These rare transitional errors are extremely valuable because they were not supposed to exist. If you suspect your 1974 half dollar might be silver, test it with a magnet. Silver is non-magnetic, or weigh it. A normal clad coin weighs around 11.34 grams, while a silver planchette version would weigh about 11.5 grams. If you find one of those, you might be holding a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about what makes collectors love this coin beyond its value. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964 as a tribute to the beloved president after his tragic assassination. The design symbolizes hope, unity, and American pride. Even today, the Kennedy half dollar remains one of the most recognized U.S. coins ever made. The 1974 edition marks the 10th anniversary of the series, adding emotional and historical depth to its collectible appeal. Many coin collectors also focus on die variations, strike quality, and mint luster. Coins from Denver often show stronger strikes, while those from Philadelphia can have softer details. Proof coins, on the other hand, exhibit mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs that shine under light. Each small variation affects the coin's beauty and market desirability. The more pristine and well-struck the coin, the higher its potential resale value. If you're checking your collection or pocket change, look for clear, sharp details, strong luster, and minimal scratches. A 1974 half dollar in brilliant uncirculated condition can be a showpiece in any coin collection. Combine that with a rare double die error, and you've got a coin that can easily be worth hundreds of dollars or more. Auction results also show how values can climb over time. For example, high-grade 1974 D double die half dollars have sold for more than $1,000 at major auctions. Even ordinary 1974 Kennedy half dollars in pristine condition are becoming harder to find because most have been circulated for decades. Coins with full mint luster, sharp lettering, and no wear are becoming scarce, which naturally increases demand among collectors. If you're searching for these coins, try checking coin rolls from banks, inherited coin jars, or estate sales. Many valuable coins have been found in ordinary places simply because people didn't know what they had. The Kennedy half dollar, especially from the 1970s, is still a great coin to hunt for beginners and experts alike. Even if you don't find a high-value error, building a complete set of Kennedy half dollars can be an exciting and rewarding hobby. Some enthusiasts also collect proof sets from 1974, which contain the S Mint mark coins produced in San Francisco. These proof coins were made with special dies and polished blanks, resulting in a mirror finish. Collectors especially look for coins with deep cameo contrast, where the portrait appears frosted against a shiny background. Such coins not only have aesthetic appeal but also carry higher market value. Let's take a moment to appreciate the design details again. Kennedy's profile is bold and lifelike, capturing the optimism of an era. The reverse side's eagle, surrounded by 50 stars, stands for strength and freedom. Every detail, from the feathers to the olive branch, was carefully crafted to honor the legacy of a leader who inspired millions. Another reason the 1974 half-dollar remains relevant today is its connection to U.S. coinage history. The 1970s marked the end of silver circulation coins and the full transition to base metal-clad coins. That makes this coin a representation of change, a bridge between two numismatic eras. Whether you collect for investment or nostalgia, this coin carries both sentimental and monetary value. For anyone wanting to know how to identify if their 1974 half-dollar is valuable, start with 3 steps. Check the mint mark, inspect for doubling on the obverse, and evaluate its condition under good lighting. If you notice doubling, strong luster, or proof-like qualities, you might have something special. Coins kept in original mint sets or protective holders often preserve their shine and can fetch higher prices. Before wrapping up, let's highlight some key tips for collectors. Handle your coins carefully, store them in a dry place, and avoid cleaning them. Cleaning can actually reduce a coin's value. Always keep an eye out for error varieties and weigh your coins if they look different. A small difference can make a huge impact on the coin's worth. Next up, even though it's not made of silver like earlier issues, its story, design, variations, and potential value make it a must-know for coin enthusiasts. The 1979 half-dollar was part of the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series, which began in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was created to honor his memory, and the design has remained mostly unchanged since then. On the obverse side, you can see the left-facing portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at that time. The reverse design, created by Frank Gasparro, shows the presidential seal, an elegant eagle with outstretched wings holding arrows and an olive branch. This powerful image symbolizes strength and peace, making the Kennedy half-dollar one of the most patriotic coins ever struck. By 1979, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from using silver in regular half-dollar coins. Instead, these coins were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, a pure copper core layered with a copper-nickel alloy. The total weight of the coin is 11.34 grams, its diameter is 30.6 millimeters, and it has a reeded edge. Although it doesn't contain silver, collectors still find beauty and value in these coins, especially due to their connection with the Kennedy legacy and certain rare varieties that can be worth far more than face value. The 1979 half-dollar was produced at 3 different U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, those from Denver carry the D mint mark, and those from San Francisco have an S mint mark. The San Francisco Mint primarily produced proof coins for collectors, while Philadelphia and Denver struck coins for circulation. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is its relationship to the coin collecting boom of the late 1970s. During this period, the price of silver fluctuated dramatically, and many Americans became interested in coin collecting as a hobby and investment. Even though the 1979 half-dollar contains no silver, it represents an important moment in U.S. numismatic history, bridging the gap between older silver coins and modern circulation coins. When you look closely at a 1979 half-dollar, you might notice some variations in strike quality, luster, and minting errors. Some 1979 half-dollars show doubling in the inscriptions, such as Liberty or In God We Trust. These doubled die varieties can significantly increase the coin's value. Collectors also look for coins in pristine uncirculated condition, with bright luster and no signs of wear. A coin graded as MS65 or higher by professional grading standards can be worth several dollars, and special varieties or errors can be worth much more. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint are especially sought after. These coins were made with specially prepared dies and struck multiple times to bring out sharp details and mirror-like fields. The 1979 S-proof half-dollar can come in 2 types, Type 1 with a filled S mint mark, and Type 2 with a clear S. The Type 2 proof is scarcer and more valuable among collectors. Let's talk about the coin circulation and collecting interest. In 1979, millions of half-dollars were minted, but very few were used in daily transactions. Most people rarely saw these coins in change. This scarcity in circulation makes finding a clean, original 1979 half-dollar in pocket change today quite rare. Many coins were kept as keepsakes, stored away in rolls or mint sets. If you're curious about the coin's potential value today, it depends on several factors: mint mark, condition, and rarity of any era or variety. A regular circulated 1979 $half is usually worth its face value of 50 cents, but an uncirculated example can fetch between $1 and $5. Proof versions, depending on type and grade, can range from $5 to $20, or even more for a pristine example. Rare mint errors, like off-center strikes or double dies, can reach prices in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars if highly sought after by collectors. Collectors and historians also appreciate the 1979 Kennedy $half for its symbolic meaning. The Kennedy design represents a period of American unity and remembrance, a tribute to one of the nation's most beloved presidents. Even decades later, the coin continues to serve as a piece of American heritage. To identify whether you have a valuable 1979 $half, check the mint mark below Kennedy's neck on the obverse side. Then look carefully at the coin's condition. Sharp details, clean surfaces, and full luster indicate an uncirculated or mint state coin. If you see any unusual marks, doubling, or odd metal patterns, that might point to a mint error, which could increase its worth. Proof coins will have mirror-like backgrounds and frosted raised designs. In today's coin market, collectors focus on details such as strike sharpness, surface quality, and eye appeal. A well-preserved 1979 $half from a mint set or proof set can be a great addition to any collection. Even though the coin's face value remains 50 cents, its collectible and historical appeal make it far more interesting than its monetary worth. Over time, these coins have gained more attention from new collectors entering the hobby, especially those who enjoy hunting for error coins or assembling complete Kennedy $half sets from 1964 to the present. Having a 1979 example in your collection helps complete the modern era portion of the series, marking the continuing evolution of U.S. coinage through the late 20th century. As you study the 1979 $half, you can appreciate how much craftsmanship and symbolism go into every detail, from Kennedy's dignified portrait to the fine lines of the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Each element reflects American pride, art, and history. If you have a 1979 $half in your possession, take time to inspect it carefully. Whether it came from circulation, a coin roll, or a mint set, every coin has a story to tell. Some may have been given as gifts or kept as souvenirs for decades. These stories, combined with the beauty of the design, make collecting Kennedy $half a truly rewarding experience. As the years go by, the 1979 $half continues to represent an important part of America's numismatic legacy. Collectors and enthusiasts continue to search for rare examples, high-grade coins, and special varieties that keep the excitement of coin collecting alive. Whether you're new to the hobby or an experienced collector, the 1979 $half is a coin worth studying, appreciating, and preserving for future generations. Next up, the 1962 nickel features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938. His design was chosen through a national competition, and it has remained on the nickel for decades. On the obverse, Jefferson faces left, and around the edge of the coin, you can see the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1962. A small mint mark, either AD for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia, can be found to the right of Jefferson's portrait, just beside the neckline. On the reverse, the coin displays Jefferson's home, Monticello, a symbol of architectural beauty and a tribute to his role as a founding father. The words "E pluribus unum" appear above, while Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America are arranged below the building. Every detail of this design was crafted with purpose, reflecting Jefferson's intellect, influence, and legacy. Now, when it comes to composition, the 1962 nickel was struck in a metal alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and weighs exactly 5 grams. Unlike earlier war nickels that contained silver between 1942 and 1945, the 1962 nickel contains no precious metal. However, its numismatic value can far exceed its face value depending on condition, rarity, and mint errors. During 1962, two main mints produced the Jefferson nickel, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 97 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced more than 280 million. Together, these coins flooded circulation, making the 1962 nickel a common date. Yet, even among such large mintage numbers, some special pieces stand out. Coins that were struck with full steps on the Monticello building are among the most sought after by collectors. Full steps, often abbreviated as FS, means the steps on Monticello are fully visible and sharply struck without wear or weakness. These examples are much rarer and command premium prices in the market today. In circulated condition, most 1962 Jefferson nickels are worth between 5 and 20 cents. However, uncirculated coins, especially those with strong luster and no signs of handling, can bring several dollars. The real excitement begins with high-grade mint state examples graded MS65 or higher, especially with the full steps designation. A 1962D nickel with full steps in pristine condition can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000. Some of the most valuable 1962 Jefferson nickels are the ones with rare die errors or varieties. Collectors always search for doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and overstrikes. A 1962D nickel with a repunched D mint mark or a strong double die on the obverse can fetch significant value depending on the clarity of the error and the overall condition of the coin. Another fascinating aspect of the 1962 nickel is its place in the transition of minting quality. During the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint was modernizing its equipment and improving production speed, sometimes resulting in slight imperfections. This makes error coins from this era both possible and collectible. If you have a 1962 nickel in your pocket change, the first thing to do is check its condition. Look at Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and the area around the steps of Monticello. Any visible wear will reduce the grade, but a coin that still shines with its original mint luster is worth examining closely. If the steps are sharp and fully visible, you may have something special. The Philadelphia issue of 1962, which has no mint mark, is typically better struck than the Denver issue. However, both can have strong examples with full steps. When comparing coins, collectors also pay attention to luster type, whether it's satiny, frosty, or reflective, as this can indicate how the coin was struck and preserved. Even proof-like strikes from mint sets can have higher value if preserved in perfect condition. Mint sets and proof sets from the early 1960s often opened by collectors in search of well-struck examples. The 1962 proof nickels, made only in Philadelphia, feature deeply mirrored surfaces and sharp details, and a perfect proof coin can command impressive prices in the numismatic market. Some collectors build full Jefferson nickel sets from 1938 to the present day, and finding a gem 1962 nickel with full steps is one of the more challenging goals. The reason is that despite high mintage numbers, most coins were struck with slightly worn dies or stacked in bins where small marks appeared instantly. That's why a true mint state example with no marks or weakness in the steps can be worth hundreds of times its face value. Auction records show that some of the finest 1962 Jefferson nickels have sold for incredible prices. A 1962D nickel graded MS67 with full steps has sold for over $3,000, while the Philadelphia version in similar grade can bring $1,000 or more. The value depends on strike quality, color, and overall eye appeal. Coins with strong luster, clean surfaces, and perfect step definition always attract strong competition among collectors. For collectors or enthusiasts looking to understand their coins, the 1962 nickel serves as a great example of how condition, rarity, and details matter far more than age alone. Millions were made, but only a tiny fraction remain in pristine mint state condition today. The Jefferson nickel series continues to be one of the most collected in U.S. coinage. The 1962 issue, though common, holds a key role in the timeline. It reflects a period just before major changes in the minting process and before the composition changes in other denominations. For those who love American history, this small 5-cent piece is a tangible link to the Kennedy era, early space exploration, and a time of optimism and innovation. Every coin collector should examine 1962 nickels carefully, as small differences can make big financial differences. Check for mint marks, surface quality, die cracks, or doubling. You might be surprised that a coin found in an old jar or drawer could be worth a small fortune today. Now we will explore the 1963 5-cent coin from the United States, known as the Jefferson nickel, is one of the most recognized coins in American history. Many collectors are fascinated by this particular year because it represents the end of an era, the last full year before the removal of mint marks to the reverse in 1964. The 1963 Jefferson nickel is made of a composition that includes 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a total weight of 5 grams and a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel has carried his portrait of Thomas Jefferson since 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. When you look at the obverse side of the 1963 5-cent coin, you'll see the left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1963. On the reverse side, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, along with the words "E Pluribus Unum," United States of America, and 5 cents. These design details make the 1963 nickel a timeless representation of American coinage and craftsmanship. The 1963 5-cent coin was minted in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1963 nickel with no mint mark, while the Denver Mint used the D mint mark located to the right of Monticello on the reverse. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 175 million nickels that year, while Denver produced over 459 million. Because of these high mintages, most 1963 Jefferson nickels are considered common in circulated condition. However, collectors are always on the lookout for rare errors and high-grade uncirculated examples that can be worth far more than face value. If you have a 1963 nickel in your collection, the first thing to check is its condition. Coins that have sharp details, full steps on Monticello, and bright luster can be much more valuable than worn or dull examples. The term full steps refers to the clarity of the steps on Monticello's building on the reverse side. A nickel with full steps indicates a strong, crisp strike, which is quite rare for 1963 nickels. Collectors pay a premium for these coins, especially in grades MS65 and above. In circulated condition, most 1963 nickels are worth only their face value of 5 cents. However, uncirculated examples can bring in much more. A 1963 nickel graded MS65 can range from $5 to $15 depending on luster and strike quality. For higher grades such as MS66 or MS67, the value can jump significantly. Some rare examples with full steps details have sold for over $1,000 in top condition, making them a valuable find for coin enthusiasts. The 1963 D nickel from the Denver Mint follows a similar pattern. While most are common, a small number of high-quality examples with full steps are rare and highly collectible. Mint State 1963 D nickels with full steps can bring hundreds of dollars in auctions, particularly when certified by trusted grading companies. Collectors are often surprised that such a common coin can hold so much value when found in pristine condition. When examining your 1963 5-cent coin, look closely for mint errors, which can greatly increase the value. Common errors for the 1963 Jefferson nickel include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A double die error may show doubling on Jefferson's profile, the inscription's Liberty, or the date 1963. These error nickels can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on how dramatic the error is. Off-center strikes are also interesting to collectors, and the more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin may be. Another factor that influences the value of a 1963 nickel is its toning. Some nickels have developed beautiful rainbow-like colors over time due to natural oxidation of the metal. Collectors often prize these toned coins for their unique appearance. However, the toning must be natural and not artificially induced, as that can lower the coin's desirability. The Jefferson nickel series is popular among coin collectors in the United States because it's relatively affordable to start, yet still has many valuable dates and varieties. The 1963 nickel is an excellent example for beginners who want to learn about grading, strike quality, and mint errors. Because of its historical background and design continuity, it remains one of the most collected 5-cent coins. It's also interesting to note that the 1963 nickel comes from a period right before major design and composition changes in US coins. In 1964, silver was removed from most circulating coins, and while nickels remained copper-nickel, the mint increased production dramatically to combat coin shortages. That makes the 1963 nickel a snapshot of a simpler era in American minting. Collectors who want to preserve their 1963 5-cent coins should store them properly. Keeping the coin in a protective holder, away from moisture and direct sunlight, helps prevent tarnishing. Handling coins by their edges instead of touching the faces keeps oils from your fingers from damaging the surface. These small precautions help maintain the coin's value over time. For anyone interested in coin collecting, studying the 1963 5-cent coin can teach valuable lessons about mint marks, die varieties, and coin grading. Learning to distinguish between a regular strike and a full steps example is an important skill. Even though millions were minted, finding a perfect example is not easy. That's why collectors enjoy searching through rolls of nickels or old coin jars in hopes of discovering a hidden gem from 1963. Some collectors also assemble year sets or mint sets that include the 1963 nickel along with other denominations from the same year. This provides a snapshot of U.S. coinage history, linking nickels to pennies, dimes, quarters, and half dollars produced during the same period. For many, it's not just about value but the story behind each coin and its place in American heritage. The 1963 5-cent coin continues to attract interest among collectors, historians, and investors. Whether you're holding a circulated example or a mint-state gem, the 1963 Jefferson nickel connects you to a long tradition of American craftsmanship. Each coin carries the legacy of Thomas Jefferson and the minting history of the United States.